Hi guys, it's Vanessa. I'm here today to do a review for you on Bdellium Tool brushes. I had previously recorded this and then deleted it like I always do by accident. And I just came home from a party and it's actually kind of late, but I'm not quite tired. And I figured while I look presentable, since I'm normally like in pajamas and a hot mess, that I should do this video for you. So we're going to do it today. I have quite a bit of brushes. This is going to be a review on the Bdellium Tool brushes that I had picked up from the makeup show. And if you haven't seen my makeup show haul, I will link that right here. Also, I will link right here my Bdellium Tools reviews that I've done in the past. I believe I have 2 up. So I will link those here. We'll put them somewhere. And of course, all the links will be below for you. So I'm just going to go in order kind of down the line from face brushes to the eye brushes that I picked up at the show. I'm going to be comparing them to some brushes already in my collection. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. The first brush that I picked up is the 958. And it looks like this, and it's just this big round dome-shaped duo fiber brush. And I love this brush. You probably have heard me talk about it before. I have it in the Studio line, but I wanted to pick it up in the Maestro line because there's definitely a weight difference from the Maestro line to the Studio line. So that's something I know a lot of people ask me, like, what's the difference between the lines? And the Maestro line, the brushes are a little heavier. They're just made, the ferrule I think is made of a shinier metal. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but this one kind of shines more where this one's a little duller. And then the handles are heavier. I think they're made of different wood. But the brush head and the bristles are exactly the same. So you're probably thinking, what's the difference? But it's definitely in weight, and this is the brush where you could tell the difference. And when I'm applying it, I can tell the difference. This one to me just moves a lot more fluidly, and when I have like, when I want a lighter application of like Bronze Universal or something where I don't need to work the product in as much, I will use this one. And then when I really want to buff something in, like a mineral powder foundation, or I want like a stronger Bronze Universal kind of look, I will use this one. I love this brush. I totally recommend it to anyone. Either line, it just depends your preference. But yeah, this is definitely a favorite. Love, love, love it. The next brush is the 957, and this one they gave this one to us in the blogger preview bag. So this is the one brush that I didn't purchase out of the ones that I'm showing you. This brush has a shorter handle because I think it's like just their kind of like press release to kind of do the shorter handled ones. But I already own the 957 and I have it in the Maestro line. So you can see, like I said, same differences apply here. And the weight, obviously this is a shorter handle, but the weight is definitely different. I love this brush. I loved this one and I like this one. The things I use this brush for is for contouring. I will do a really blunt line with the edge of the brush, and then I'll use the flat part to buff it out and get a really nice contour. What I've been specifically using it for lately is for powdering, setting my foundation. Instead of getting like a powder puff, I'll just swirl this into the foundation and literally press it into my forehead and, you know, T-zone, center of my face, all over my foundation to kind of push the powder into my face. And then, you know, if I have some excess, I could dust it off with this as well or go in with something bigger. But I really like this brush. This is another brush that I totally recommend. You can also do like foundation application. A brush that I have that is kind of similar that you can find like at Target is the e.l.f. powder brush. Now the e.l.f. powder brush is much lighter in weight, and I think that the brush head is a little bit larger. They're pretty similar considering that they're both synthetic. However, I do prefer the Bdellium Tools one only because it is a little denser and it feels softer and more plush than the e.l.f. one. The next brush I have is the Bdellium Tools 940 brush, and this is a really unique brush. It's really flat, kind of like your standard foundation brush, but then it has a lot of fluffiness to it that you would find kind of like in a blush brush. I love this brush for bronzer as well, getting a nice contour going in there for precision powdering. of like, you know, the forehead and that sort of thing. And I also really have been using this a lot lately for highlight. So I really like it for that as well. The thing that I don't really have any brush like this, and I haven't really seen a brush like this personally, so that's why I was gravitated towards this one. It's really nice and soft. The brush or the two brushes that I feel like if you paired them together would give you this brush is the MAC 192, which may be discontinued. I got mine at a CCO, but just kind of like a small flat foundation brush. And then the MAC 116, which is a fluffier kind of paddle powder brush. So like those two brushes make this brush, I feel. You can use it for blush too, but I think it's a little too precise for that. But otherwise, I really do like this. It really buffs in the contour and highlight really well. And I think it's a unique brush. I think it's cool. I haven't tried it with foundation, so I'll let you know how that works. Now we're moving into the eye brushes, and the first brush I picked up is the Bdellium Tool 787, and this is a really great brush for highlighting, contouring of small places, concealer around the nose, and like spot concealer under the eyes. Also really good just for whipping over all your eyeshadows and ensuring blending. So I really like this brush. It's very universal. It's nice and huge, but it's, you know, it's huge and it does a good job blending. I really don't have anything I can compare this with at all, but I did want to show you. This is like the MAC 224, so I just want to show you in comparison so you can see how much larger the brush head is than the MAC 224. So it's really good. It kind of reminds me of like a really big MAC 286, which as you can tell by its dirtiness is one of my favorite brushes. So yeah, I really like this brush a lot. It's another one I recommend. I have 3 of them. I have one in the green bamboo line and one in the yellow bamboo. So I love this brush. The next 2 brushes I'm going to talk about are like, I'm obsessed with them. So the first one is the 772, and it's this super cute, teeny tiny shader brush. Now this, I picked it up because I feel like I'm obsessed with blending brushes, and I always buy blending brushes, and then I never have enough shader brushes. So I wanted to pick up a new shader brush just to add to my insane collection of brushes that I don't need. But this brush I love. Now I originally had from the Bdellium Tools travel line, I have their 777, and this shader brush I don't love. I don't like hate it or anything, but I don't reach for it that much. It's not my favorite because it's very fluffy. You can see by all the powder coming out of it, but it's really fluffy, so I feel like it doesn't pick up the product as intense as I want. I kind of have to build it up a lot, and since it moves around a lot, it kind of blends as I'm putting it on. Whereas this little dream, the 772, is fluffy, but still it's much stiffer, and it's like very densely packed, and it picks up the color insane, and you can like really pack color onto your lid. I love this because I have really small eyes, so if you have small eyes, this is a great brush. I love using it when I do makeup on clients with small eyes and clients with monolids. This is amazing. I love this thing. Also really good for the inner tear duct. I really love it for that as well. And I like it for just adding that little bit of like highlight right under the brow. This works really well, and then you could buff it out with a bigger brush. And then just to compare it to the MAC 239, which is like their very famous shader brush, I just want you to see how much smaller the head is from the 239 and then the Bdellium Tool 772. So it's definitely a smaller shader brush. The next brush is kind of the big sister to the 772, and that is the 774. So everything I loved about the 772 applies for the 774, except that it's larger, but it has a move to it, but it's very densely packed, packs on color like a dream. If you have like a look where you're just doing like one eyeshadow on your eye, I love this brush for that. And like this and the 772, I have been doing all my makeup with it. I just cannot get enough of it. I love it. It works great. I used it today on my eyeshadow. I used both of them actually, but I love this brush. And I wanted to compare this one to the 252, just so you could see that it's a little bit smaller than the 252. And just to recompare to the 239, it's a little bit bigger than the 239. I don't have the 242, so maybe it's about the size of that brush. But it kind of sits in between these two, and it works fantastic. I love this brush. If you have larger eyes, or if you tend to just do like quick one color looks, I definitely recommend the 774 from Bdellium Tools. And if you're looking for a shader in general and you're on the Bdellium Tools site, I recommend 772 or 774 over the 777. Okay, the next brush I'm going to talk about, I hate to say this, but kind of disappointed me, which hurts my heart more than anything to say about a Bdellium Tools brush, but it is true. I cannot lie to you, so I will not lie to you. And the brush I'm talking about is the 776. So if you've been watching my channel, if you've watched my other Bdellium Tool reviews, right now you're like, who are you? What have you done with the real Vanessa? You're obsessed with the 776. So here's the story with this brush. I originally purchased the 776. This is my original one that I purchased a year or 2 years ago, something like that. And I love this brush because it reminded me so much of the MAC 217, only it was much softer and obviously more affordable than the 217. So this is the 217 and my original 776 that I purchased. So you can see that they're very similar in size. They're pretty similar in thickness. They both have like a more rounded side and a flat side. The MAC one is a little bit fluffier. It has a little bit more of a belly, but even so, this one works just as well. And I actually preferred this one to the MAC one because it was a little bit more tapered. So when I went to the makeup show this time around, I was like, I love this brush. I lost one of my real 217s, so I wanted to get a double backup of the 776 so I'd never be in that situation again. So I picked up these two brushes. Now, these brushes, I don't know why they have, in my opinion, they have changed a lot from this one that I originally purchased. And I don't know if that's just like, if they're differences in the brushes or if they've changed the way they're making this brush, but I really hope that they go back to the original way, because here are the three. And again, because it's a white brush, I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera. These two are much wider than this original Bdellium Tools brush that I picked up. They like flare out more and they are more just kind of like fluffy all around versus being kind of like tapered and fluffy, if that makes sense. So it's just a completely different shaped brush, and they are kind of like bigger than this brush. I don't know if I'm doing any kind of justice showing that. And they, to me, they don't compare as much as the MAC 217 as much as this one originally did. Softness wise, let's see. This one, my original Bdellium Tools one, is softer than all three of these, but comparing my two new Bdellium Tools one to the MAC 217 isn't much of a difference. They're about equally as soft. But yeah, this original one was amazing. This new one, I like it. I use it. It's okay, but it was a total letdown even when I held them together, and I was like, this is not the same brush. So, kind of sad about that. I can't lie. But I still think it's a good brush. I just don't think it's as much of a dupe for the 217 as it once was. So then I also bought 3 shader brushes because, I don't know, I'm excessive and unnecessary, and that's just what I do. So the first brush that I picked up is the 716, and it's just this very, it's a dome kind of, a pencil brush, I'm sorry. It's a pencil brush and it just comes up to a nice point. It's kind of similar in shape to the MAC 219, which I can't find my 219, so I'm going to use this crown brush, the C431, as kind of a little example. So the C41 is kind of like the 217. It's much more rounded than the Bdellium Tool 716 brush, and the 716 is a lot thinner. I really like the 716 brush a lot for blending at the lash line. I also like it for applying powder over a pencil in the waterline, which you have to be careful doing, by the way, but this brush makes it really easy to do. I also like it for lower lash line work. And yeah, I've used this also for that highlighter thing, just kind of like running a highlight right under the brow and then blending it out with something else. And yeah, I've even used it in a pinch for a lip brush because I forgot a lip brush and it worked really well for that. So I really, really like this brush a lot. Oh, also for inner corner work. So if you like a lot of like detail work, this is a great brush, and I think it's one of the better pencil brushes because it's nice, thin, comes to a nice point, and I really, really like this one, and I tend to reach for it more than my other pencil brushes, and I have quite a bit of those. The next brush is the Bdellium 760, and it's this teeny tiny angled brush head. So it's a really small angled brush head compared to like other angled brushes. It's much smaller. I'll just pick up a random angled brush here. You can see how much smaller it is than like your standard angled brush head. And they say that it's a liner brow brush. I have not tried it on my eyebrows, but I did use it for liner, and I picked this up because Jessica from Beauty Zine said that it's like the best liner brush, and that like she never fails her liner with it. So when I first got it, the first 3 times I failed my liner, and I was like, this brush is a dud, or I'm stupid, I can't get it. But once I got the hang of it, holy majeez, I love this brush for gel liner. It's like probably my favorite brush for gel liner. And if you just kind of dip it and use the like, instead of going like right at the head, which is what I was doing first, if you kind of hold it perpendicular to your eye and use the longer edge to kind of draw the line, and then you can kind of flick it like that. It just works so easy. Laser color perfect. You get a nice thin line with it, and I rarely mess up my eyeliner now with it. So I definitely like this, and if you're a gel liner girl, I recommend this brush. And that was the 760. And the last brush in my review is the Bdellium Tool 708, and this is a bent eyeliner brush. And the reason I like this is I have seen a lot of bent eyeliner brushes before, but they're normally a bent angled brush. And this one comes to, you know, a nice fine point. This is great for doing really thin liner. I love it. It's really nice and thin. This is the Bdellium Tool 710 brush. And I don't know if you could see because they're tiny, but this one is much thinner and precise than the 710. So I really, really like this for really thin line, and it works really good. I kind of prefer the 760 over the 708, but I think that this, excuse me, I'm still a little sick. I think that it comes down to personal preference and what you feel more comfortable using. But the angle really helps, really makes it more comfortable, and it works really well when you're wearing lashes to like kind of get in behind the lash if you have to go in and touch up your liner. This is the angle really helps with that. So that is my review on all my new Bdellium Tool brushes. I did also receive this 5-piece kabuki set, but I'm going to do a separate review with that just so that the video is not that long. If you have any other questions, down below, leave a comment, and of course I will answer them. But yeah, in summation, the Bdellium Tool brushes continue to rock my socks. Love these. They are thebalm.com, and I highly recommend them. I'll put a link below where you can get them. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on all my social media. Links below. And yeah. And if you guys would like to see an outfit of the day, since I did go to a party and I look snazzy, outfit of the day, you can see it on my Instagram. I'll link the exact picture below. Face of the day is kind of attached to that. But I will write down below what I used on my face today, but you can see a better picture of it on my Instagram. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.